Okay, we have to start this over. We had some kind of malfunction happen here. But anyway, this is Angelia with today's wisdom. Today's wisdom comes from Meeting of the Minds, Fragments of the Self. Sometimes it feels as if we have many different people living inside of us. And it does sometimes. Sometimes we have different opinions on different things. We have different internal voices or monologues that, relate to the world in different ways than each other. Expressing themselves in voices that seem distinct from one another. Because as we have different feelings, like that kids movie, the feelings movie where you had, joy and anger and sadness and things. We all have those inside of us, and they represent in different ways. There is the inner child with its wants and needs, and some people unfortunately never outgrow that, and that's a shame because it's not all about what you want and need. There's other people in the world too. The angry voice that expresses its opinion, and probably several more as well. And there are people who like that are really angry. And they're going to make sure you know about it. And they probably learned that from someone else. So, that could be other opinions as well that, they are still expressing. We may begin to feel as if we have no clarity. And a lot of people feel that way. It's like we don't know our own mind. We don't know what we want. We don't know, what's going on. And that is the goal mentally, is to have clarity in your life. It is difficult to know which voices to pay attention to and which ones to ignore or dismiss. And the easy litmus test of that, is it a creative positive force or is it a destructive negative force? This voice, what it's telling you to do, is it good for you or bad for you? And so you'll need to listen to the constructive positive ones that are good for you and not the destructive negative ones that are bad for you. That's your easy choice right there. Even if we manage to move forward amidst the confusion, doubts and concerns may linger in our psyches simply because they have not been fully expressed and examined. And a lot of people have that problem. They second guess themselves all the time. They're insecure. They have no confidence. And that happens to me every now and then. And I was like that a lot when I was younger. But I learned by studying and studying Buddhism and yoga and religion more fully, and psychology, to the zenith of where I could go on that, that there's no reason to be like that. That, we all start out as a blank slate, and we're programmed just like a computer. And if bad stuff is put into you, bad stuff's what's going to come out. And if good stuff is put into you, good stuff is what's going to come out. So I learned to listen to the good stuff. There were a few people in my life who were positive and supportive, and helped me grow and learn things. And those are the people I needed to listen to, not the more negative, destructive people. As a result, we may have trouble being at peace with the decisions we do make. Like I said, there are people who do second guess themselves a lot, and sometimes I go, oh, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done that. But that happens less and less. A lot more of that was happening in my 30s and early 40s than is happening now. I'm getting to the point in my life where I know what I'm doing. And the joke is, when you got things figured out, then you start forgetting. One way to handle this dilemma is to consciously make time for a meeting of the minds within our psyche. And you should do that. You should lay down and explore your mind. What am I thinking about? What is bothering me mentally right now and emotionally? And what can I do about that? This can be done as a guided meditation or as a journaling exercise. And you can do both. Or, like I said, you can just lay in your bed in the quiet and think about your thoughts. Sometimes people just don't even think about their thoughts. They're just there. A lot of people are really impulsive. and just whatever they feel, that's what they do. I feel like this, and so they do it. And that's not good, because sometimes your impulses are not creative, positive, good things. In both, we can summon the many fragments that make up the whole of who we are and give them each a chance to speak. Like I said, just about like that movie, honor all of the feelings you have. Sometimes you're going to have anger and sadness, and that's okay. And explore why that is. Why did this make me angry? Why did this make me sad? And usually there's a root cause somewhere in your own mind and your own emotions, that kind of made this pop for you. In psychology, they call it triggering. This can be a helpful tool in the face of decision we need to make. And it can also be a fruitful path to take in the interest of self-exploration and self-care. Because, again, you can't care for anyone else if you're not taking care of yourself. If you're a mental and emotional mess, you're not giving others your best, And I know for me, I want to give my family the best, and my friends and, everyone else the best. So, I want to be in my best possible place. When we gather the many fragments of our psyche together, the health and power of the whole is greatly increased. And that's true. And in fact, the first business I opened was called Child Psyche. And it was, teaching psychology. I went around to daycares in the area and taught classes. And then, that kind of picked up from on there, ended up being the ministry, and I did that for 17 years. And then the charity came out of that, and I did that for 9 years. Had my own office, a couple places. So, I kind of made that my life's work, because I realized how I was affected by things in my life. So I knew other people were too. And there were so many people who were scared to go to therapy. I was like, just let's normalize this. Let's teach people, psychology. Let's, minister to people who are scared to go to a church. Let's have classes on, things as simple as child development, human, development, psychology, starting over for women, things that, are not normalized, and they should be. We can imagine a round table in which we gather all the various representatives of our being, allowing them to name themselves and giving them a chance to speak. Like I said, you can lay in your bed and visualize this, have some alone time, and work on yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not selfish, because it's only going to help you, and then when you're got your stuff straight, then you're going to be straight for other people. We allow each one to weigh in, fully expressing the perspective they represent, and we listen without comment. And that's sometimes a hard part, because you want to stop yourself. You just like, yeah, I don't want to think like that, or be like, but you need to explore it, and work through it, and that's how you get to a better place. As we listen, we may be amazed at the wisdom and energy stored in these fragments of ourself, because you developed an opinion or a feeling for a reason. They just didn't spring out of you for no reason. So when you explore your, opinions and feelings, you might realize they came from somewhere other than from you. This gathering brings the fragmented pieces of our psyche into a closer relationship, enabling us to move forward as a united whole. And that's a good way to be, because if you know yourself, then it's easier for you to navigate life. If you're not confused, if you're not, confident in yourself, that's going to be some problems in your life. If you're second guessing yourself all the time, that's going to be a problem in your life. If you're just being impulsive and not thinking through your actions, that's going to be a problem in your life. So, when you find that yourself seems to be a little fragmented, a good way to bring your fragmented mind and emotions together is to, you know, have a meeting of the minds. Go in your bed, lay down, think through these things, discuss things with yourself, and figure out, you know, what's going on. Where did this come from? Why do I feel this way? Why did I do this without thinking? And, you know, it's a good first step into getting your stuff figured out. Think about it. Please like and share this wisdom so we can spread it around the world. If you want to help me out, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron. That's all for now. Until next time.